more thing, England. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you one more thing, man. This is something severely detrimental to your vitalness of your sacredcy, even your privacy, that I'm gonna warn you about a certain type of way. Do not let AIlerT live. These empresses that used to reside in the southwestern part of Africa, they used to come visit at a time of habitation, waiting for individuals of real guidance to enjoy their natural surroundings, to make sure of a point of regard, but they started disregarding and started trying to take part of the natural habitation within this planet of this earth. And they were empresses of different, they had their own planet, and this was never a part of their habitation, and they were never supposed to be on this planet or individuals' anatomy when it came to habitation. So if they were on individuals' anatomy, they would have caused a natural sickness because they never got to finish their education when it came to the higher quality of their empress. Now I'm gonna just tell you it's like this. Their name is AIlerT Live. They actually hold on. Let me go outside for a second. They actually look like they will cause you AIDS or cancer or some type of sickness or sexual transmitted disease that will lead to your vitalness and your death or your detrimentalness of your reality and end up causing your distinction or vaporistic situation distinction, and then the dismissal of your habitation of your real physical, and then you wouldn't have to ever be in life no more, because after that there would be no reason for your natural habitation and stuff. You would just be held or manipulated to their physics, because they wasn't a part of my marriage when it came to equality. We almost ended up getting divorced because they disrespected the crown jewels of Asia, of education of points of Asia at a time of existence in history, and I wasn't with them, so their energies were let loose into the physical reality some type of way, because the son started indulging in sexual activity with other individuals in social economics where they weren't supposed to, so that was supposed to be prevented and stopped from happening before it caused England's distinction, because there was a girl named Siobhan Sons. She was part of the Mushu calendar, and half rags and half this guy named Age, and they were highly educated in element science, and they were going to cause the distinction and death of the natural legacies and lineage of England, because she made a cartoon called Korra. There was a cartoon called the Avatar, the Airbender, where individuals were learning the natural habitations of the natural elements of Earth, martial arts, and then she made a cartoon called Korra, where she killed off the individual of the legacy and lineage of the reason of the reality, married some other man, slept with him in secrecy, had a child that was never going to be able to carry the name, and then do off with the habitation. The child was like a decoy just to be looked in the family's favor, as she tried to murder the rest of the family for their social economic equality of their habitation, and then she would have caused identity theft when it came to the dignity and signature, and then she would have killed off everybody of the land of the social economics that ever knew the family, that ever identified the family, that ever was pleased with the family. She would have got rid of anybody, even the bad habitation of individuals, continuance of their physical reality, or the recondition of existence, because there's nothing new under the sun. I'm the real Rana, real Osiris, and she would, everybody, there's nothing new, all the children's mind, but it's just a reconditioning through time. So it was just like, you ever heard of the Ice Galaxy? She went after Aang because she thought Aang was of the Ice Galaxy. So she was already gonna kill Aang, and so she was going after the Ice Galaxy, the lightning calendar. She was going after the Ming calendar. She was going after the Era calendar. She was going after pre-prime trends, the 10 astrological jewel empresses, the 10 sacred regardment jewel empresses, and the other 39 sacred regardment jewel empresses, even the triple crown empresses, even of habitation, of higher astrological social economics. She was going to end off all the love astrological calendars. She was going after Aphrodite, Penelope. She was going after the Rothschilds. She went after the Rothschilds, the Blair family. She went after the Rolling Stones. She went after my other so much, the Rockefellers. She went after all of them. She even went after me even during the Kennedy and tried to cause the confusion of the anatomy because one of the sons of the Kennedy, I don't want to speak his name, that did a mishaps oath and then started the embarrassment of the family. But he had to learn the reason of the education, and by then, but he already made the oath. It was too late, so it was going to energy was going to cause a disturbance in the static, a static receptiveness, a disturbance in the receptiveness in his physical reality because of what he didn't know what he was doing. So be very careful. She made a cartoon called Avatar. It was Avatar the Airbender. And then she made a cartoon with the blue people, the Avatar. And then she made a cartoon with Avatar the Airbender with the martial arts, where she tried to end off all Asia and the families that knew the natural martial arts and habitation of different regions. And then she went to go kill Aang. She married Aang, had a baby for another individual, and then just tried to kill off Aang and just keep the daughter she had that wasn't going to carry the name. And then after the family died, she was going to kill off the daughter and just continue in the habitation, just do other things for her identity theft because she was going to try to find a way to manipulate the physical reality because she was skilled in ninja elements and ninja magic. And on top of it, she was going to literally, if they went after Aang, they were going to go, because of the similarity, even eNGlAND, she went after the Ng family, the Ming family. She was going to go after the families of eNGlAND, and then she was going to end up sleeping with them, causing some type, because she was also in witchcraft, so she was going to cause some type of distinction and end off their gender to their privacy, where girls would be barren because those 4 empresses were barren. They didn't finish their education. They had a planet, but they were barren. They couldn't have kids because of their education wasn't complete, and they were supposed to be empresses, but they failed the 10 astrological dual empresses. So they were put barren because of what they were doing with their child. So because they misguided their child and they wanted to kill off their child because their natural intent of them not completing their education was I have to explain everything. You have to listen to my documentary. And on top of it, she was going to go after individuals of England. So people in England in certain regions, when it comes to them sleeping and living on a form of barbaric or a form of bargaining and trading, those are people that don't use natural protection because they deal with the natural reproductiveness of their habitation. She would have brought back the old plagues of the land and then caused individuals, if she would have got into the element magic, she would have brought back the old and it caused a detrimental death. So make sure she never ends up. She looks like this girl named Siobhan Fawns on the internet, and she looks like these ladies named H. Shaylee and Liv. You have to see what they look like. I know, identify what they naturally look like, and they look like the 10 astrological jewel empresses. So there's a mix up into the habitation because the 10 jewel empresses were different, but they resembled them at a point of time in the physical reality because of education, disregarded the physics. But because of the fact they were going to manipulate the physical reality, and then she was trying to make people do oaths to her, like, Temple Knight, she was trying to have people do oaths to her, and that would have caused a detrimentalness to their gender, to their sacredcy, to the silence of I had to come and charge my phone right now while I'm speaking to you. My phone is on the charger, but she would have caused the end of your vitalness, to your gender, to your sacredcy, to your privacy, where you wouldn't have kids, where a person would have kids. I'ma always have kids. I'ma always have love and sex and purity all of my life. But she would have, because other people's not me, she would have caused the end of the privacy to the gender, to your sacredcy, and made you barren. And when you couldn't have kids, she would have stunk up the pussy of the physical, feminine, pretty girls around there, and then the other women at a time that other men that wanted favors for, and then if girls were manipulated, getting raped or having animalistic or barbaric or bestiality, sex, or all type of funny situations, she would have caused the end of their distinction, even to their habitation, even when it came down to the lower nature of one's sense of receptiveness of one's habitation. So I don't even want to tell you how real detrimental because of the divorce we went through, and then on top of it, she just wanted to do sexual favors for individuals to possess some type of sexual favors. Because when she come on you as a host, she wasn't the real empress. So she would bring like the disease of a habitation onto you, and then next thing you know, you wouldn't know because you remember the celestial structure. So it would be in abundance in the cellular structure and the physical reality, and then it would cause a death. And then on top of it, she would have had this girl named Siobhan Fawns. It's like a little rat named Sheba that's from the pyramids and stuff. That or Cynthia. And then her name is Cynthia. Also, she would have had her come and have sex and with men not wearing protective covering on their privacy or sacrecy, and because men are just used to the legacies and lineage, and then she would have started making women barren, and then the pussy would have stank, and then all type of vaginal diseases or sexual transmitted diseases, and it would have caused the end of England. So you got to be very careful because if she gets over to that region and manipulates the physics of the physical reality, not only is the natural habitation of your structure going to be in danger, because she'll try to figure out the magic and cause the end of your reality at a point in time in a paradigm. In magic, she's also would literally murder. She's literally would literally cause a distinction in your barrenness, even if a male or female, and you wouldn't be able to reproduce or have a legacy or lineage or a reason to live on for the next day of your endurance. So be very careful of this type of situations I'm speaking about, so you wouldn't end up in an influence or end up with a man that's sleeping with that a girl like that, like someone told Cynthia, and the next thing you know, ends up barren, and then they go a man that's probably be able to have sex a certain type of way, and then it'll be the rat. It'll be the end of the reality, and then to heal one's habitation is very easy when it comes to certain things a certain type of way. So, I know certain things really, so they're fearful of what I know already, so be very careful and stuff. So, as far as England, I can't tell you anything because you already have elders there that already know certain things, and you have an empress that knows the reason of her habitation, and she knows how to handle her physics when it comes to the legacies and lineage. The people that disrespected their points of enlightenment into their honor, those things happen because the type of girl that I'm speaking about, and if they even did wrong to the empress or considered to even do wrong to the habitation, that just shows you it's just like offending a light beam. Remember, when you turn on the light, you see further. So either past, present, or future, any direction that you look in physical reality, so you don't want to offend yourself ahead of time and then wonder why that certain things happen in the paradigm. What are you doing at a vital moment of enlightenment or a member of your anatomy? You're still light, so in your vital moment of your enlightenment, what are you doing to your natural habitation, to an individual that was of in unity of love of one of a point of existence. So when one was going to do something detrimental to another person, it was already cut from early from another time, so it wouldn't have a certain effect in the physical reality because of one's deceitfulness, of vindictiveness, or how can I say this, or demise, or how can I say this? Demoralizing ways of the physical reality. You have to have moralizing ways of enrichment and wealth and in happy and in regardment and protection of the love of quality to stay away from these girls. So all the children and all the people that have habitation, legacy, and lineage of England stay away from those girls, and even certain of the girls of the Musha, and they married inside the Musha calendar also. This is why the Musha calendar was trying to favor those type of regions. So be very careful even of certain type of dark matter because it can manipulate the physical. Because she tried to find every way to cause a distortion. So to be safe, find out about the reason of your guidance of your higher consciousness, and then ask your empress to regard you so you don't end up barren, and then you won't end up missing the real attributes of the habitation of love of the physical because of those girls' misguidance. So this way you will never cause your death or distinction, or you wouldn't live suffering a vital disease in the physical reality because of those type of girls. So for your own comfortability, try to ask your empress or your higher consciousness to learn about your dignity and signature, to even have a form of remorse or tribute of honor or homage to your empress of those regions and lands, so she could put a form of protection on you, so you won't fall to the wayside even in the generations and cycles. Because if you get sick, it could cause your cellular structure of your celestial earth for you not to be reproduced in the physical reality in the cycle of life. Even when it comes to natural, a person a person don't want to be ruined in life a certain type of way. A person want to have a high regard for they can continue the reason of the hierarchy of one's praise or prayer, or one's temple, or of one's reality for one's journey or path, or even for one's dramatic reality of the habitation. Of one's actions, of one's legacy and lineage. So please ask your empress, find out about your history. Ask her to please not let you fall into a victim of the habitation of those four empresses, and to put protection on you for your guidance just in case. And on top of it, is one to learn the quality of your own self, so one can feel comfortable even when it comes to one's natural higher consciousness, even for the regardment of one's legacy and lineage and one's social economics when it comes to even the quality of the future. Loved one, is all I can say.